Hello there. This is Arlene Arnold, and I'm here with the focus of the week, the energy focus of the week. And we come in each week to find out what's going on. And this one's a pretty interesting one this week. And we have a lot of interesting things going on. Leslie is going to be, and Leslie and Will be in Albany, Oregon at the Rosani Fair. And Stacy and I are here in Spokane for the Holistic Festival. So we're really glad that all of you will come if you can, if you're in the Spokane area. And if not, just hold energy for us. It's always a fun time. We are speaking here, both Stacy and me. She had hoped to be here with me today, but her mother-in-law was taken to the hospital. So please hold a place of love for Stacy and her husband Anthony and her mother-in-law. So I'm seeing so many of you here. I'm so happy. Hello, April and Dodie and Susie and Will. Thank you all for coming today. It's like old home week. And I am in my brother's office and he has a squeaky chair. So I will try not to move too much. I think we will just go ahead and get started. And so I want to show you what the luminary is for the week. And for those of you who don't know, I pick a card from the luminaries, which is a set of cards that my friend Lorinda and I created. She did the art, and I did the book, wrote the book, and then I've picked a card from the Color Cards book, which is something that I created. So here is our luminary for the week. And this one is called attunement. And attunement is really, really important for this week. When I say the word attunement, I think of it as how do we get into the best connection with ourselves, our inner spirit, with the divine source. And it's just always so important that we have that kind of connection. Now, I want to read to you a little bit of what is in the book around attunement. Here's something to consider. Celebrate the realignment and reconfiguration of your core. So let's talk for a minute. Where is your core? Maybe your core is in your heart, but oftentimes we think of it as in the solar plexus, which is just below the rib cage and goes down to the waist. And that can be your power center or your empowerment center. And we need a realignment of our core as we move into higher and higher frequencies. And as there are changes in us physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, because we are expanding, we are moving into some new dimensions that we may not have experienced in this lifetime before. So all of this can cause a little bit of a difference in how we are aligned inside of us. So use this energy from attunement to help realign your core. So just do that for a minute. Just feel that attunement's here. Let's just put it down in your solar plexus. Imagine that it's in your solar plexus as a ball of energy. It's not flat. It's a ball of energy. And put it in that solar plexus and ask attunement to do whatever is necessary for the realignment of your core. So you are in alignment with who you are and your authenticity and what you're here for in this world. This alignment takes many connections for us. And then something else I picked out from the book, it's in the section called The Reflection on Attunement. It says, with a heart now freed and expanded, Join the chorus that radiates compassion and understanding. So our hearts are being freed and expanded in this process that we're going through. And sometimes that may feel like there's something going on with your heart. And do always check with your inner knowing and go to the doctor if you need to. But many times this can have to do with this expansion that's going on. And what we're going to be able to do even better than we're doing right now is to join the chorus of all of us who are now radiating compassion and understanding. Can you feel the wave of that? If all of us are here radiating compassion and understanding. I had a weird dream sometime this morning before I got up, and it was about someone that's a relative but is divorced, so not a direct relative at this time. And in this, I saw myself reacting to something she was doing, and I was acting in a way of was blame and anger and all this stuff. And in the middle of the dream, I was like, "Oh, that's not who I am." And so I redid the dream, and I went back, and I was still seeing the same picture, and what she was doing was really offensive to me. But what I did is I went to her and said, "You know, that's not who you are. I know you, and you are not that." And then uh, uh, I left the scene, but I was actually coming from a very compassionate place inside of me. And, sometimes we get caught up in these old patterns that we've had. And it's really good for us to remember that we don't have to stay there, that we're in charge of that. You and I are in the process of expanding, and we're opening more and more to compassion and understanding. And in the first version of the dream, she got really mad and she was like coming after me and all this kind of stuff. In the second version, she was kind of stunned, but I think she felt the compassion and the love that I was extending to her. And, we almost have to practice that when we have old patterns where our first reaction isn't who we really are. And we have to say, hey, wait a minute, that's not who I am. And then I wanted to extend to her that I saw that what she was doing wasn't who she was. Whether she takes that in or not is up to her. But it was really an interesting thing that is in relation to attunement. Now, here's what I wrote about what I'm feeling currently in relationship to attunement. Lately, I have been experiencing this attunement from higher dimensions. You can be aware of all the dimensions, but where we focus affects our lives. And this, I think, is a really important point. This is how I see it. You may not see it exactly this way, but we are in the third dimension because that's where there is form. And we also are aware of the fourth dimension and probably the fifth dimension, kind of consciously aware of that. But there are so many more dimensions, and the frequency becomes finer and finer as we move up into these dimensions. And it's where we tend to put our attention. And when I went inside and asked myself, so where am I putting my attention in these dimensions? And I found for me that it was the seventh dimension and ninth dimension. And I don't know why there was something in between that I'm not paying attention to, but that's quite a ways beyond where we are in the third dimension. So it doesn't mean that we're disconnected from these other dimensions, but it does mean that we are focusing in a different place, which can affect our frequency and affect our energy field and affect our body and our emotions and all of what is a part of us here in form. So attunement can really help with that. So the rest of what I had written about this is This adjustment happens humanly and also is part of our soul experience. So our soul is expanding as well, and our soul is experiencing these different frequencies that we are focusing on. When we feel this energy of attunement as an infinite embrace, which is one of the things that attunement talks about, and it is not disturbing, it is invigorating and satisfying. So when we feel this energy of attunement as an infinite embrace, feel that, an infinite embrace. It is not disturbing. It is invigorating and satisfying. So let's be with attunement this week and feel this and know this in the deepest part of ourselves. So don't be surprised if you're feeling a lot of changes uh, in frequency. And attunement is here to make sure that everything inside of us is in alignment as we make these changes. And all of you are here part of that because what you are is you are leaders. You are leaders in the way of moving into higher and higher frequencies. You are a leader in the way of paying attention to where you're at and paying attention to your dreams and paying attention to how you are responding in the moment and what stories you're telling and where you're in your emotional self. Okay, so now the other card, and this one is this is the little mini color card. There's some larger ones too, but this is the smaller one. And what I picked for this week is the pink, and it's the strength in pink. I've always loved pink because it's a really interesting color. So a lot of people feel like pink is soft and cuddly and all that kind of stuff, but I want to read you a bit about pink because it's a different kind of strength. It's not the body strength, but it's a different kind of strength. Here's the message from pink. The strength in pink is subtle. At first, others may see you as soft and not strong. Yet your strength is in your loving nature. Because you are not a threat, others let the barriers down. You seem to walk in where no one else could. When the walls are down, the healing may begin. So if you are in some difficult situations this week, and I'm thinking of Stacy now that I'm sure she has gone on to the hospital to be with her mother-in-law. If she brings pink in there, which I'm sure she will, she is going to be this loving energy. And yet there's a great strength there. And that strength can make everyone in the room feel that it's going to be okay. Whatever happens, it's going to be okay. And people are going to be more true to themselves in that energy because they feel safe. So we want to use pink in a very important way this week. And one of the things that I suggest is that let's practice the strength in pink this week. Then take notes as you see this energy affecting you and others around you. So I am going to do this as part of being at the Holistic Fair tomorrow, is to ask attunement to keep me in full alignment and then to be with pink. So if someone comes in who's in a really tough place, they can feel safe and they can know that it's okay to come and do reading with me if that can help them to discover what they can do about where they are at. So it's an interesting color. And those of you who have the color cards, and by the way, you can find the color cards and the luminaries on our website, transformationaltools.com. And if you will go into the menu and when it drops down, there's a place where you can go to Oracle decks, and you'll find these decks in that section. And then one more thing, and we'll come back to this a little bit later, is that many of you know that we have established a membership program that we're calling the Vortal. And when you get on our website on that home page and you scroll down just a tiny bit, you will get a lot of information of what this is about. And Vortal comes from the luminary that's called Vortality, and that means it brings together a vortal and a portal. I mean, a vortex and a portal. So a vortex is kind of where the energy is accumulating or moving, and the portal is where we are moving into this expansion. We're moving into a new place. So we have some wonderful things coming up as part of that membership program. And one of the things is that I will be speaking as part of that this month. And every month I do a free session that I call Journaling with Your Knowing Self. All those who are part of the membership can go to that for free. And I'm going to be picking an additional time to do it this month because the timing apparently was not real good for that particular time. And also Dodie, who's here, is going to be doing crystal a class, and she will be doing that every month. And those who are part of the Vortal get a 20% discount from that. But it's really reasonable, and you can find how to sign up for that if you go into transformationaltools.com and go to events, and there is a place there where you can sign up. So if you have any trouble finding anything, or you need to ask me a question, please email me at arlene@transformationaltools.com. All right, so let us now go to me picking cards for you. I want to see what's up for you in this. So, and don't forget to use the ones that are in more generally for the week. But what I find for you is something that you will want to specifically take a look at. So I'm looking at who we have here this morning, and I see Leslie. Whoops, is this pen going to work? Leslie and Susie and April and Dodie, and I saw Will before. So if there's anybody I've missed, let me know. So, and let me just see if there's anybody here on, sometimes people are on Facebook and they're not quite showing up yet. So let me see it to make sure that that is happening. Okay. Let me see. I will just go to, well, let's see. It's odd. I guess I'm not going to be able to do that. So those of you who are on Facebook, if there's someone there that you see that hasn't come in yet, but might like to have a reading, let me know. All right. I like doing this with Stacy because she handles all that for me. So it's a little harder to do it all on my own. All right. So let's see. I'm always interested in seeing what people got last time. But Leslie, you're first this time. I want to pick a card for you, and yours is a luminary. Now, I noticed last time that you got Dolphin Song, but this time, oh, yes, you've gotten this a few times. This is crystalline. This is a wonderful vibration. And wow, you know what I'm feeling and seeing, Leslie, is that the heart center, your heart center, is like this card. It's like it's radiating crystalline frequency. So this is, and notice it has the magenta in it as well. So it also has this frequency of being able to change the nature of things, so it can transmute energy and create something else with it. but it can also be something that is very loving and compassionate. So, along with this beautiful energy of the crystal, there is this energy of the magenta that is a really important part. And see if you see it in your heart center, and just maybe if it seems right, allow that to move out into your whole body and into your energy field. So I'm going to write this down. I kind of like to keep track because it's interesting what happens from week to week. All right, Susie, yours this time is a mini color card. So I'm going to do a color card for you. There are 16 color cards, and each one shows us whether Susie's working with a lesson or a strength. So, well, this is a one that many, I'm sure, are working on. This is the lesson in orange. And orange is very much, it's when you look at the chakras, it's the second chakra. The red is the first one that includes your legs and your lower hips area. And the orange goes from the upper hips up through the waist. And that is where we sometimes accumulate old emotional uh, things that we haven't completely processed yet. So, what I would say for you, Susie, is allow yourself to feel all of the feelings that are coming through you, because this is an opportunity to be aware of anything that isn't finished, emotions that you may not have finished. I don't know if anybody else is feeling this, but I've noticed that for me, I would say it's in the last well, I think maybe since the first of the month, but also that eclipse was a big part of it. And there were things that I've worked on over and over with the colors and other modalities, and it's like uh, layers of them move, but something is still there. And there were two different issues that I've worked on for a long time that finally we got to that place where it was finished. And wow, was I happy. It was like, oh, I'm so glad to be finished with that issue. So if emotional issues are coming up for any of us, let's pay attention, because once you in this little mini color card, it says allow all your emotions to be felt. And then what happens when you do allow that and the healing comes, then you're moving into the strength of orange, which is sensual, alive, present, happy. Just think about the glow of the sun. Think of how you feel on a wonderful day that you've had. That's where this goes as we finish our emotional issues. And emotional issues can be something where you are tied to an experience that you've had. And until you take care of that, you will continue to bring up whatever that was. So when you do that, it's right here, right now in your life. And that is so that we can work on it and let it go. All right, so I want to write that down for Susie. That's the lesson in orange. And April, you're next. And I get immediately, April is so connected to the luminaries, but they love you, April. They want to be here for you. All right, this is the one. All right, this one is called integrity. I really love integrity because um, if you see, let me turn this way. Okay, there is an emerald doorway in the center of this. And when I wrote the information for this, what I was feeling was that all of those beings that were looking on were were aspects of me, and they were, or as an individual was looking at this, it could be aspects of yourself, and they were looking on and wanting to go through the emerald doorway into your soul self. Our soul is in form here, and our soul self we often find in our heart. And this emerald doorway takes you into the heart. So I spent time during my life bringing in all of these parts of me that had gotten separated from me and brought them through the emerald doorway into connecting with me on a soul level, becoming part of who I am in this lifetime if they chose to, or at least doing some healing work here through this emerald doorway. Now it might be that what we're seeing around this doorway is all the help we have. Because as we bring all these parts in and they are part of us now, we are much more aware of the help that we have around us. So I think that's part of the answer for you, April, is to notice the help that you have. And they are surrounding this doorway into your soul self. And that's here, right now. That doesn't mean leaving this life. This means it's in this life, it's part of you. So that one is called integrity. And when you think of it, integrity really has to do with wholeness. And integrity, when we speak of it as something a part of our personality or part of how we operate, integrity is our authenticity. And as you bring home all these parts of yourself and they are healed and they are part of you, and then you have all this other help, you have a much easier time doing what you came here to do, to give of yourself, to be of service. And that is an important part of this too, April, that all the work that you've been doing is paying off now. And you're seeing all of the help here that's around you. And this is going to help you to live from your authenticity and be exactly who you are in your truth. Okay, so now let's go to Dodie. Um, and let's see, Dodie, yours is a color card, Dodie. Let me just see what comes up for you. Well, this is wonderful. You are in the strength of magenta, compassionate healing. So I know that one of the things that you've been working on, Dodie, is your own healing. And I can feel the compassion that you have been offering to yourself and in the process of that healing. And I can feel how you are understanding that as also part of your surface, that compassionate healing is for others as well as yourself. And remember, the complementary color of the magenta is the lime green, and lime green is the leadership color of all of you are in that arena now. And as you bring in the compassion from magenta, and the in there is in the green, because it's a lime green, is the yellow, and the yellow is the integrity of how you're living in your life and being truly who you are. And then the green is from the heart, and that's where we integrate everything that we know, everything we are, and we find that in the heart. And then there's also the white that's in that lime green. So this is a time, Dodie, of bringing together the lime green and the magenta and the leadership that you have within you, but it's being taken to a new dimensional level. So this is a wonderful time, even though it's in times been just difficult. So that one is the strength in magenta. And last time, Dodie, you got the luminary vortality. So that was all about moving in your life in a very organic way. And now you've come to a different place where you're that compassionate, loving energy. You're offering yourself. You are also offering the world. And thank you for that. All right. So let me see here. So Will, let's see what's up for Will. Okay, the luminaries always again want to be with Will. Let's see here. Oh, that's interesting. It's also integrity. So let me feel into it for you, Will, to see exactly what that means for you. Wow. Will, it's almost like you have a council now that is working with you, and they will help you with ideas that you have. They will help you with how to find the information that you need. It's like they are working with you on your projects. So this is a little different than what I often get with integrity, although I did see this when I was talking about it for April, that these beings, it's a different picture than what I used to have of integrity. So part of your integrity now, Will, is this group that you're working with. I just wonder if you've had any awareness of them. I'm going to move this so I can see the new comments. Yeah, it is a wow, Dodie. uh, um, yes, energy for Stacy. I'm so thankful for that, Susie. And what we want to do now is think about this coming week, and with the information that has come through in general, and where we have the attunement luminary and we have the pink color. And now with the information that you got specifically, what I'm getting is this week is a very important week, and that we are being asked to be steadfast in our practices, whether it's qigong or using your meditative techniques, or I do a lot of breathing techniques these days, and then also working with color. This is an important time to be really aware of all of the tools that we have and continue to work with them, because there is something about this week that is really important. Is anyone else feeling that? I want to see if I can move into it any more than that. What the word I get is pivotal. This week is pivotal. And that may have a different meaning to every one of you of how it's pivotal. It's pivotal. And that means there is something that is a big change during this week. It's a really important time. So Dodie says, yes, all of the readings are so deep for this week. Okay. So remember that we have a place on Messenger where we do a reminder of the energy focus week, but there's also I think it's a Facebook group where you can go in and talk about the energies. So do that this week, because we may need to help each other with whatever this is that's going on. I feel like it's not something it's not so much difficult as it is important. And therefore, we want to stay in touch together to bring in whatever that is in the most beautiful way. So again, thank you all for being here, and let's again make sure that we are with Stacy and her family as they're dealing with this situation with her mother-in-law, and really hold special energy for both the Holistic Festival and for the Rosani Fair. And Will says loose ends have been becoming completed, which has involved an inclusion of more parental appreciation, which has also increased my counsel. So, boy, big thanks for you, Will. Susie, I'm so glad you're here with us. And my understanding is you're joining us at the festival which will be wonderful to have you there with us. So thank you, one and all, and be really good to yourself at this time, and remember that you are magnificent. You are here as your soul in form, and your magnificence is needed. And if you are still working on something, know that that's okay, because you're here to finish that so your magnificence can become more complete. And I will see you next week. And for those of you who are part of the Vortal, we will be getting together several times in the coming couple of weeks. So stay tuned and go into the Vortal and look at the things that are upcoming. And I'm always open to suggestions. So let's just keep thinking about how we can best support each other and how we can support others who maybe do not have a group like the Vortal. All right, my friends, take care. I love you, and I will see you soon.